Today we are going to talk about the miracle of science in the Quran. Till right now, they find more than 1,000 information of modern science written in the Quran more than 1,400 years ago. There's a book called It is the Truth People of Science Are Facing the Quran. In this book they bring the biggest people of science in the world from Canada, from Germany, from France, from USA, majority were Americans, also from Japan, from India, from Thailand, etc. So everybody in his branch, and he's comparing what the Quran is saying, what the modern science is saying, and some of them became Muslims, the other they are shocked how this information could be written more than 1,400 years ago, and it with the high technology now. So, for example, about the theory of Big Bang. We know that a long time ago, there was many million years ago, there was an explosion happened, and the sun, the moon, and the earth were one mass, compact, and then everybody of them was separated. And the first cell is done from water. This is written in the Quran. Those who didn't believe, didn't recognize that the heaven and the earth were one mass, compact, and then we separate them and made from the water all living things, would they believe? Here we means God. It's for the respect in the Arabic language. For example, we have, who is making the home of the spider, the female or the male? The female is making the home of the spider, and there is a scientific from Germany. He became Muslim because of only one letter in the Quran, because we only can know the difference between the female and the male. If we put one letter more in Arabic, it means it's a female. So the female is making the home of the spider and not the male, and even sometimes the male are helping in some groups of spiders, some sorts of spiders, but it's the female is making and not the male, and this is also an explanation written in the Quran more than 1,400 years ago. About, for example, where is the lowest point on Earth? Professor George Washington, he was showing us with his telescope where is the lowest point in Earth, and when he was comparing the modern science with the Quran, and he showed us that it's in, it came digitally with the telescope, it's in proximate of the Dead Sea in Jordania and Palestine. So it's written in the Quran also where is the lowest point in Earth. For example, we know 4 information about the atoms. First, the atom exists. Second, before the people of science of Greece and Orthodox, they think that the smallest thing in the world is the atom, but now we know that there's something smaller, it is a particle. Third information is more than one atom together, they make the molecule. In 1950, the astronomer Zwicky, he discovered that the atom doesn't exist only in Earth, but everywhere. Sky, Earth, everywhere. Sky and Earth everywhere. These 4 informations are written in one ayah in the Quran. Ayah, like sentence, but it's not sentence that you understand what I'm talking about. For example, plants. There's male and female in the plants. It's also written in the Quran. We know it new. It's written more than 1,400 years ago. For example, the Professor Armstrong from USA, he was comparing the Quran with the modern science, and he's showing us that now we discovered that the iron is not coming from Earth. Because to make one atom of the iron, you need 4 times the energy of all the systems solar. So it's impossible that the atom is coming from Earth. Where it's coming from? The stars, very high temperature, coming here in another form. So it is about the iron, and it's in the Quran that the iron is coming, the explanation that the iron is coming from up. And also about the iron, in the University of Sydney, Australia, there was a student, they were talking about the iron and the modern science, the Quran, and then this student, he noticed something. He said that there is a surat, it's like chapter, but it's not chapter, just you understand. The name of it is the iron, and the ayah which God is talking about the iron in it, it's the number of this surat and the number of this ayat. The difference between both of them is the same difference between the number of the atom of the iron and the width of the atom of the iron, or vice versa, not sure. So this is about the iron. So those are the short scientific explanations of the ayahs written in the Quran. For example, XX and XY. Before in India, they was making problems with the woman because she brings a girl. And now we know that with the modern science that there is something called XX and XY. XY means a boy and XX means a girl, and only the sperm of the man which is saying if it's a boy or a girl and not had nothing to do with the girl. For example, in the Quran, they put the Quran in the computer and they find that the words and the opposite of the words have the same number. For example, how many times the word man or men written in the Quran, it's the same number like also like woman. And also, for example, how many times the word angel or devil written in the Quran is same number. So words and opposite of the words got the same number in the Quran. But now something strange, how many times the word water or the explanation of water like sea, etc. It was written 32 times. And how many times the word land written in the Quran? It was only 13. So it was not the same number. Why? So they put 32 plus 13, it gives us 45. Now we'd like to know the percentage of the water from the total and the land from the total. So we find that the water is 71% and the land is 28%. That's what we took in the geographic when we were children, that in this earth there is 71 water and there is 28 land. About the ant in the Quran, so the explanation of the ayah, that the ant, she was talking in the Quran and she's telling her friends, enter to your habitations, otherwise Solomon and his soldiers, his army, they may crash you without they notice, without they take care. So how the ant from the beginning can talk? Now we find in 2009 there is a video, it was about the ant, that she's not only talking but she's also singing. And the ant are communicating together by 3 ways, like chemical communication or visual, etc. And the ant, she was telling something strange in the Quran. She's telling her, like her other ants, enter your habitations, otherwise Solomon and his soldiers, they may crash you without they notice. In English we say, I crash the glass and I run over the insect. So how somebody can crash the ant? She's not a glass. Now we find that the body of the ant is a composition of the material of silicon, and the silicon is the majority of the composition of the glass. And then also the body of the ant doesn't contain bones. So it's not written in the Quran, for example, enter your habitation of the otherwise Solomon and his soldiers, they may break you. So there is no bones in the ant. And for example, if a human being he break an arm, so only the arm is broken, but the ant is not the same. If something is broken in the, if something a problem in the ant, so everything is broken because it doesn't have bones. Third thing, in YouTube, 2 years ago, there is a website, there is a video on YouTube, but we don't have to do this because we respect the nature and the animals. They threw the ant from 2,000 meters up by special way, and then and even less, 1,500 to 2,000 meters, and they find that the ant, she doesn't. That the ant, we can't run over the ant because of different reasons. First, the ant, she's very light, and when she fall down after this, she doesn't, her speed doesn't go more on. Second thing, also because of the ant, she has in her antennas, she has muscles, very strong, and this is also one of the reasons. Third thing, the ant, she's making the flex when she's getting down, and we can hear it with also an apparatus. And then also the ant also she's making this this part very big when she's getting down, so she's also resisting by this way. So those are the four reasons why we cannot run over the ant, why the ant couldn't be run over when she's getting through it from a higher place. The surah also of the Quran, the surah is chapter, it's not chapter, but that you understand, of the ant is in plural. Why not in single, for example? Because the ants, they used to live in groups. So if only one ant, if one ant go outside from the group, the minimum group is 7. If she go outside and she doesn't go to another group, which is minimum 7, she die normally, and she can't stay, live alone, not like the spider which is living alone. And the ant in the Quran, she's telling her friends, enter your habitations. Habitations is with S. Now we find that the habitation of the ant are very, very large and very, very big, extremely big, and they find one habitation is going through different countries like Italy, France, etc. And it's 6,000 kilometer, and very, very high, the habitations too. And she's telling them, enter your habitation. The word your, because it's not, doesn't belong to somebody else, to another ants. Why? Because now when they put other ants from other habitations to these habitations, they were aggressing them, and they were killing them, and they're defending their place. But when they put another ants from the same place, they didn't make any aggression toward them. So it was here to your habitations and not to habitation of somebody else. And then the ant also in the Quran, when she was talking, she was using 13 words in the Quran. And now we know in the modern science that the ant, when she's communicating, to send a complex message, she need between 10 till 20 words with a chemical way of communication. And then the ant in the Quran too, she's telling them, enter your habitation, otherwise Solomon and his soldiers and his army may crash you without they notice, without they see you. Because why without they see you? Because here she gives the excuse to Solomon and his soldiers, because if somebody believes in God and he it's clear that he has a good heart, so if he see an ant, he just doesn't have to kill her like this. He will take her, and then he's gonna avoid walking on her. So this is about the ant in the Quran, and there's still a lot of information just in this ayah, so we didn't really talk about everything just inside in this ayah. And also about, for example, there's a book called The Bible, Quran and Science of Professor Maurice Bucaille. This book took the first prize of gold in France, and it was translated into 11 languages. The original language is French. In 1993 it was in its 15th edition, and in this book Professor Maurice Bucaille, he was comparing the information of science in the Quran, the information of science in the Bible, and he was showing us that the information of science in the Bible is not going well with the new science. There is many mistakes, but in the Quran everything was shocked and right. And actually in the Quran the explanation also is written in the Quran that the explanation that the people, they change the word of God in the Evangel and Torah, they call it. But now we went to the moon, and we know that the moon, there is no light, it's just a mirror, just a reflection of the source of the light, which is the sun is. So the sun is the source of the light, and the moon is the reflection. And also this explanation also of the was written in this explanation also was written in the Quran. And for example about the Bible, Quran and Science, also the Professor Maurice Bucaille, he's a surgeon, and he was also comparing different points between the Quran and the Bible. For example, the story of the Prophet Noah in the Bible and in the Quran when with a boat. So there is one information in the Bible with more than the Quran, and it was wrong with the new science. It's about that everybody in the boat in the Bible and everybody everybody in the world, he was destroyed. And but in the Quran it was not written about that everybody in the world was destroyed. Now we find with the history that in this time of Prophet Noah there was a civilization which are extremely strong and high and getting more high, and it was not destroyed. There is another point in the Quran, in the Bible, but here in the Quran there was more information, more than the Bible, and it was the Prophet Moses. When the Prophet Moses, he was when there is a Pharaoh in the time of Prophet Moses, on him the peace, and when this Pharaoh, he said that he is God, so God punished him. He punished him in the water. He died in the water, and it's written in the Quran that the explanation that God, he will save him with his body to be an example for the people which is coming after him, because he said, I'm God. So after this, God wanted that we discover his body, his mumia, that when people see it, this is not God, so he's just a human being like us. So this information also was more than the Bible, and it was founded by Prophet Maurice Bucaille from France, which he was also as well converted to Islam. And about Professor Cousteau, he was before he died, he discovered information which is very, very important with the modern science about the seas, and these informations also are written in the Quran, the explanation. So for example, that the seas, Professor Cousteau, he discovered that the seas, when they come together, for example, like salty water with fresh water, and salty water with salty water, when salty water is coming with salty water, for example, in Mediterranean with, for example, Red Sea or etc., when they come together, they don't mix. Why? Because he finds that between them there is a wide barrier, and in this barrier, it's everybody from the both seas are losing his qualifications and became neutral in the middle, because actually both are salty, but they doesn't have the same qualification of water. This one is more salty than the other. This one is more hot than the other. This is the density of water is different. There is fish are living here. There are the other places that are also living there. If they go here or there, they die. Everybody has his place, and in the wide barrier between them, which is neutralized both of the two seas, also in the middle, the fishes are living in the middle, and they can go neither here. But about the fresh water, it was different, because fresh water, when it's coming with the salty water, the reason here why they don't mix is something else, because in the middle there was another salty water which separated both of them. So this is about the seas. About, for example, the moon, there was a man from England, somebody gave him the Quran, so he just opened the Quran any page, and he read something, and it was strange for him. He read that the moon was broken, so he closed the Quran. He didn't want to read it again. And once he was opening the TV, and he was talking about, there was 3 men from the United States. They went to the moon, and they were coming down and talking with the man which is in the TV, and they telling them, he was telling them, why you spend all this millions of money going up, and we need it for poor people, like for example African and so on. So they were telling him that normally when every time we go up, we are discovering things, and we are to help the people and the science and the medicine with it. So last time, for example, when they went up, they discovered something. They discovered that if maybe they said that if maybe they give money to the people to believe it, maybe they wouldn't believe it. And it's that the moon was broken, and up they find that there's a part of the moon, another part of the moon, they have the same age, but the one in the middle, it was newer. For example, about the Colombo. When Colombo, he discovered the United States, it was just nearly 500 years ago. But is the explanation of the ayah in the Quran is the Lord of the two sunrises and sunsets. So in Saudi Arabia there is one sunrise, in America there is another sunrise, so here there's 2 sunrise, and in Saudi Arabia there is one sunset, and in USA there is another sunset, so here there's 2 sunsets. And in other places in the Quran is the Lord of the sunsets and the sunrises, the explanation of the ayah. So because the earth is round. For example, also about the where is the place in the body which we are making 2 things. We are lying and we are making mistakes. Exactly the place is in the brain, and where exactly in the brain is in this place. And there is also one ayah is talking about this, the explanation. So, for example, about the brain of the man and brain of the woman, we discover now since nearly 2 years, it's around maybe 2008, that the man and the woman both, they have the same, like we have ears, eyes, and brain and so on, but inside is different. The woman, she has 2 places. One place is for thinking, and one place is for talking. But the man, he got only one place, is for thinking and is for talking same time. And there is an ayah of the Quran. The reason of it is because of this reason, wallahu alam. For example, the fly, we know now that the fly, for example, if we have a dog, and we give the dog a piece of meat, and the dog, he threw out the piece of meat, after 5 minutes we find the piece of meat just like this. But for example, we need 30 minutes to digest, for example, in medicine when we take it to go to our organism. But the fly, no. Everything the fly take it directly go to the organism directly. So also there is an ayah which is talking about the explanation. For example, the plants. There is a plants male and female. And also we talked about it before, that also there is modern science, they find it also, it was written in the Quran more than 1,400 years ago, the explanation. And for example, about this earth which we are living, we discover since not long time that it's getting bigger. And also this is a scientific explanation of what's written in the Quran. For example, about the professor, there's a professor called, his name is Professor Kate Moore, he's from Canada, he's Canadian, and he made a book, it was called the Developing of the Human Being. This book took the first prize in USA because it was done by only one scientific, and at the same time it's a reference for everybody in the world in embryology. And this book was 1,000 pages. So in this book also, in the 3rd or 5th edition, the Professor Kate Moore, he changed the name of the book. The name of the book now is, after he changed it, The Developing of the Human Being with Islamic Modifications. And in this book he was showing us that since only nearly 30 years we know many information about embryology by the high technology and machines and so on. And this information was written in the Quran more than 1,400 years ago. Plus he finds something new from the Quran and he gave it to the modern science. Also he also convinced to Islam, he and another professor from Canada. There is, for example, about the mountains. There is a professor from Japan, he was comparing the mountains with the Quran, and now we know that the mountains are making the stability of the earth. Second thing, the mountains, for example, if a mountain is high 1,000 meters down, is still more and more deeper. And these two information, also the explanations of what's written in the Quran. And then we have, for example, the bee. Where is coming the honey from the bee? Where exactly from her body? The honey is coming exactly from the bee, from her stomach. Also this is the explanation of what's in the Quran. And second thing, for the bees, we find now that the bees, they make, before Shakespeare, he was saying that the bees are, in Shakespeare, in his theater, he was saying that the bees, they are soldiers and king and males and so on in his, but now we discover, after 400 years of research about the bees, they discover that the bees, they are not soldiers, men, and they are women and queen and girls. And in the Quran also the term was for the feminine, when there was the bee in the Quran. And then also it's about that they make homes for the bees. They make 3 homes, like this one they call it XX, this one O, this one is LL. And then they took the bees and then they write on these bees, which is going outside from her home, X, and this is L and this is O, to know that they're coming from the same place. And then the bees, they went very far away to the gardens, and then when they went to the garden, and then they write also in the place which she went, for example, X, from home X to the garden X, and O, L, and then the bees, she was going there, and then she was getting back to her home, and then she was telling her friends, the other bees, about what she find, which flowers and so on. And the bees, they are getting to the same place exactly, bees which are from the home X to X, M, L to L, O to O, and they get the food from there. And also it's a scientific explanation which what's written in the Quran. Once back again about the spider. the explanation of what's written in the Quran about the spider, when the spider, that's the spider, those people which took another protector than Allah, than God. And by the way, Allah is not new, Allah is God. And in the Arabic Bible or the Jewish, for example, in the Old Testament, where the Jewish and the Christian Arabs, they say also Allah, and it's written Allah in the Arabic Bible. And the Arab Muslims are only 18% of the Muslims in the world, but there is 82% are Muslim, but they cannot speak, they don't speak Arabic as a mother tongue. So the majority of Muslims are non-Arabs too. So, but the Quran came to Prophet Muhammad, on him the peace, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in Arabic. So about the spider, she's telling her, the spider, those who took another protector than Allah, than God, than Allah, they are like the spider. She took home, and those are the weakness home, if only they know. And those are the example which we are giving to the people, and only the people of science will understand it. And as we say before, that the female is making the web of the spider the home and not the male. This is one thing. Second thing, those people, we know now how to make a home of the spider. The spider, she's making first like sticky surface, and then the other insect, when they come inside, they can't move, and then she doesn't kill them. She waits till they die inside. Then she came, and then she put another surface which is not sticky, that she go down, and then she can eat them. This is one thing. So inside there's a lot of blood, and the killing, and the hunting, and so on. The male of the spider, if he doesn't, when he came inside the home to make the sex with the girl, if he doesn't escape in 15 minutes, she kill him inside, and she is much more bigger than him. The children also inside, when they are born, also the strongest one is killing the weakest one, and so on. So there's a lot of blood inside. So it's not really a nice home for living. And plus that we can see everything happening in the spider home, like we see if anything happening, because there is no cover inside, or so on. And also the home of the spider is we take our home for protecting from sun, from cold, from rain, etc. But the home of the spider is just open. So this is really a weak home. So it's written in the Quran that the explanation of what's written is that those who took another protector than Allah, they are like the spider. She took home, and it's a weakness home, if only they know. So this home is weak, as we see. Even now they are making from the spiders. From the spider's home, they're making the jackets anti-ball, which is, but it's weak from this side I was explaining before. So those people who took another protector than Allah, they are like the spider. She took home. Everybody would like to have a nice home, comfortable home, everything is nice, but the home of the spider is full of blood, full of problems with the children. They're killing each other. She is even killing the male if he just doesn't escape away, run away. So it's not a comfortable home, and nobody would like to have a home like this. So those people who took another protector than Allah, they are like the spider. They think that those people will protect them, and those people, but actually they will find that they are not like the spider when she took the home, and the home was not good as well as other homes which we can have it. And here we find that the female is making the male, the female is making the home of the spider, and not the male. And the man of science of Germany, he became Muslim because of just one letter of the Quran, because as we say before, that we know that distinguish between the female and the male in Arabic by just one letter, like in French too. If you put E more, so it means it's a female. Once the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was giving a khutbah. A khutbah is like a lesson. Then he heard a palm was shouting. So he get down and he holds the palm till the palm stop shouting. How a palm from the beginning can shout. Now with the modern science, we discovered that the plants feel. For example, when there is a big insect is coming to attack a plant, the plant is defending itself by giving a bad smell, so the big insect is running away from the bad smell. But something strange happened now. When a small insect is going to attack the plant in this case is giving a nice smell. Why nice smell?
because we find now that the plant is very intelligent, so by the nice smell, the big insects, they like the nice smell, and they came to the nice smell, and they find the small insect, so they attacked the small insect. By that way, the plant is defending itself.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا والله أعلم.